You don't worry about it. You want idiots to sound like idiots, but you want them to hold their position the whole year. Like don't flip flop with us. Like if you said we weren't gonna make it, you said we were some way early on, just stick with that position. Hold it. Don't try to give us credit now. Don't try to give us credit now. Just stick. If you had us ranked 25, keep us ranked 25. If you had us going home early, if you had us going 3 and whatever, have us going 3 and whatever. You know what I mean? At least stick by your word, because I want you to sound like an idiot at the end.
Sherm isn't playing. He's only down with the day ones. Welcome back to First Take, everybody. Coming to you live from the Seaport District at Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. Joining us now, two-time Super Bowl champ, the great Justin Tuck, is in the building, sitting next to two Giants fans, and of course, Stephen A., a New Yorker as well, so supports the team in his own way. And you are here on behalf of the Mayo Clinic Comeback Player of the Year ambassador. Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me ask you this. 49ers cornerback Richard Sherman, some strong words there with folks doubting his squad. What stood out to you, Stephen A., the most about the Niners?
Their defense. Their defense is something special, or at least it was last night. And this kid, Nick Bosa, was he was a terror last night. He was sensational. Had a couple of sacks, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery. He was all over Baker Mayfield all night long, and everybody followed suit. Their defense, they've got speed, they've got athleticism. I think they've got the proper level of leadership by a guy like Richard Sherman, who was basically telling them, you know what, you rush, we cover. That's what you do. You rush, we cover. That's what he was saying to them, because he was mic'd during the game. I liked what he said about the media, but I'm here to tell Richard Sherman, that's my man right there. Got love for him. He can include me in that mix, because I'll be damned if I didn't doubt the 49ers. And guess what? I'm still gonna doubt them. I'm still gonna doubt them, because guess what? You beat up on Cleveland yesterday, and Cleveland, with the exception of their performance against the Ravens a week earlier, have been suspect all season long. So we shall see. I'll give the 49ers props where it's due, but just because you're off to a 4-0 start, which was not predicted, there's still 3 quarters of the season to go. So it's all fun. I ain't taking no offense to it. I mean, he wasn't talking about me. He was talking about a lot of other people, but he can include me in that mix. Unlike most people, I'm going to take it. I'm going to sit up there and I'm going to look at Richard Sherman all year long, and I'll be like, we watching. You 4-0 now. Let's see what you do as the season progresses, and when he's right, I'm going to give it up to him, but I'm going to wait until the absolute end to give it up to him, because he has asked us to hold on to our position. Don't be phony about it. Keep the same intensity. Don't lose the intensity. I don't got no fur coats on, guys, but y'all know who I'm imitating here. Keep the same intensity. Please don't lose the intensity. Keep the same intensity. Richard Sherman, that's what I'm going to do. I had questions about y'all. I didn't think y'all were going to be better than the Rams. I didn't think you were going to be better than Seattle, and I'm going to hold on to that all season long until I have no choice but to think otherwise. But I still can do that and say I was pretty damn impressed with what I saw on Monday night.
Man, I've been thinking a lot about Kyle Shanahan, and I've been thinking about him watching the Falcons too. Because the Falcons were never, what were they known for? Defense? No. But that offense was so dynamic that they made it to the Super Bowl. Really, they should have won the Super Bowl. Then he goes to the 49ers. Whatever you want to say about Jimmy G, Stephen A., he looks at Jimmy G and goes, yeah, get me that dude. And he had a reason for saying that. And his offense, like, the Browns couldn't do anything with the Niners' run game. And that wasn't just because the Niners have a great run game. It's because he schemed it up. He was doing tricky stuff to loose the run, and it was working. There are some coaches you can see, they leave a situation as a coordinator or a coach, and that situation falls apart. The Falcons have been free-falling since he left. He goes to another place, and suddenly they're good. And it's not, coincidence. And it doesn't mean, by the way, this doesn't apply to all offensive or defensive coordinators for that matter. Sometimes they can't handle, or maybe aren't ready to handle, the full responsibility of running a franchise. For example, Freddie Kitchens in Cleveland, maybe. But Kyle Shanahan looks like the truth right now. Where he leaves, it collapses. Where he goes, they're undefeated. And you can see his hands on the offense, and it's working.
Well, I'll say this. I had the opportunity to be with Jed York and Kyle, and one name that isn't getting a lot of plug right now is a guy named John Lynch and what he's created as far as being a GM of the 49ers. And I had the opportunity to be with them during the Super Bowl and just listening to him talk about how he wanted to build his team. And obviously Kyle has done a phenomenal job, and I agree 100% with you, Max, as far as what he's been able to create on that offensive side of the ball. But listen, I don't care how you feel about it. I've always been this way. I always will be this way, and I'm very definitely biased. But that defense set the tone last night, and I think everybody else fed off it. What Bosa was able to do, and let's just say that he was a little amped up for something that might have happened a few years ago at a Oklahoma-Ohio State game. They just fed off of that D-line all night, and Richard coming out and getting the pick early in the game. The tone was set, and I don't think Cleveland had an answer for that. You can call it, coaching. You can call it whatever you want to be calling it. But at the end of the day, we're all professionals. And last night they got punched in the mouth. And to quote my favorite boxer of all time, Mike Tyson, they had no answers for it after they got hit in the mouth.
And props to the run game as well. Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman,
Phenomenal.
They did a sensational job pounding the rock.
22.3 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The one thing that I like to point out, and it's hard for me, Justin. Help me out here. On one hand, I want to defend Baker Mayfield from the standpoint that he's out there running for his life half the time because the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns has clearly been a question mark all season long thus far. But the flip side to it is that even though he could move guys, he ain't the most mobile dude out of the pocket. He can be had. And when you've got the kind of speed that San Francisco appears to have on that defensive side of the football, you could tell they knew they could get at this dude. They could contain him in the pocket. His ball security is a huge question mark as well. Not only that, because he's miniature to some degree, he was throwing over taller defensive linemen coming in his direction, and he wasn't finding the seams and the gaps with which to throw the football through. He was trying to throw over some of those guys. So I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm at a struggle, Justin. Do I blame Baker for that? Or do I blame the offensive line?
I think it goes hand in hand. I think, when you have an O-line that might be doing some things as far as struggling to protect the quarterback, first thing you have to do from whoever's calling the play call is just put them in situations that makes them look better. You got to try to establish the run. You got to do play action. You keep the tight end in. You switch up, what side that center's going or what side you sliding the line to. I would have been sliding into a number 97 all night. I can tell you that much. So you got to take what you have from a talent standpoint and make your team look better. I just don't think that they were able to do that last night. And you're right, he is shorter in stature. And whenever we played against quarterbacks that were short in stature, even when we couldn't get to him, we got our hands up and we had a phrase, man, make them throw through the forest. And sometimes that gives you that extra second where they might have had a window to throw. They gotta wait a second here, and then you got somebody else get to the quarterback from the other side of the football.
As a defensive monster, I mean, it was pretty clear on those Giants teams. They had so many guys in the front seven, really, who were interchangeable. Sure. But it's hard to tell for the fans sometimes who's really the guy. I remember when they suddenly guaranteed you 35 minutes. Oh, okay, Justin Tuck is really, really good. A lot of good guys, you and your everything, but Justin Tuck is really, really good. So as a guy like that, performing on an elite level, when you see what Nick Bosa did, like there was one play that I'll always remember. Some plays, you used to see some Marshawn Lynch runs, do you remember?
Sure.
Nick Bosa got knocked down, crawled on his hands and knees, got back up, got knocked down again 3-4 times, and got to the quarterback. That's something extra from college, right?
Well, you alluded to that.
Well, you can't coach effort. I mean, you can take all the talent in the world, but the one thing about this, all these Bosa kids, man, even their father when he played, they have such a passion for the game, and it just boils through. You can see this guy's out there having fun, and that might be the play you were talking about right there, as far as him getting knocked down and getting to the quarterback. You cannot coach effort, and it's infectious. And I think what you saw last night was that football team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, just playing with each other, playing for the love of the game. And that's hard to beat. Goodness. I think listen, everybody knows the talent that the Cleveland Browns have on that football team, but it doesn't seem like they're together. It doesn't seem like they're playing together for whatever reason.
Is that the coach's
for
fault?
whatever reason. I'm not in the locker room, so I have no leg to stand on for whoever the fault is. But when you look at the talent, I don't think anybody on this set would say that, on paper, Cleveland Browns offense doesn't have more quote-unquote talent than the 49ers defense.
Could be playing better.
Well, yeah, sure they could.
49ers
Absolutely.
defense ranked second overall, and what you alluded to earlier, we all saw Bosa plant the imaginary
100%.
flag, and we knew exactly what it was. I was here for all of it. It's been a couple bad weeks for Dallas, but a Cowboy executive says at least one guy's job is safe. We'll discuss it coming up in the show. Up next, actor Donald Faison joins the show for a roundtable discussion.